Let's hit it.
Good morning, everyone. I have great news. It is Monday, and I'm
Yes.
here with the lovely, beautiful, amazing Yvette.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How was your weekend, Yvette?
Tiring.
Tiring, but all right, we're refreshed. It's a new day, and we're going to talk about something really interesting today. What are we
Yeah.
going to talk about? So, we're going to talk about our environment. Does our environment and the people we surround ourselves with, does that dictate how we feel? And does it dictate our overall health? So, what do you think out there? Does our environment, does that actually control how we feel and our health and our overall well-being and our mindset? What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Should we talk about, Dr. Lipman?
Yeah, Doctor.
Lipton. I'm sorry. I
That's
called him
right.
Lipton.
That's all good. There is a
That's
Dr. Lipman
a.
also. Dr. Lipton, Dr. Bruce Lipton's really cool. We just started watching him recently, and he's a scientist. And what he was studying stem cells before they were really things that were being studied, and before people really even knew about them.
Yeah. And then what he was doing was, you know what he found out? He was taking the cells and he put them, in two different dishes. And it really depended on the environment the cells were in. The cells were able to reproduce muscle, grow bone. It really depended on the environment they were growing in.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's a great point. So I mean, what Yvette's basically saying is they took these individual cells that were all the same. It was from the same group of cells. They were all identical. They put them in a petri dish with a different environment, right? And based on the environment that it was in, it grew into something completely different. One was muscle, one was bone, it was all different based on the environment. So that's pretty cool because what he realized by doing this was it used to be believed that your genes or your genetics would dictate your overall well-being. Are you more susceptible to cancer because family members have had it? And what he found was that because it's the environment that changes the cell structure, then the environment that we put ourselves in dictates our overall health, not necessarily the genes. And he goes into a whole thing on that. And I am not a scientist, but it's pretty
Well, he
impressive.
did. He was one of the, I guess, pioneers on something. It's called epigenetics,
Correct.
which means you are not really like. Let's just say, my parents had, cancer or heart disease, or my grandparents. Does not mean that I will then inherit that. With epigenetics, it is about your environment. What's the environment that you're in? And it will make you more susceptible to certain diseases.
Yeah, so it's funny because he talks about epigenetics, right? These seems like big terms, but essentially all it means is above the genes.
Hmm.
And what he realized is because these cells change by their environment, so too do we and our overall health change by our environment. Well, so let's talk about that for a second. What is our environment? What are we surrounding ourselves with? So, a great example, we watch the news every single day and it's negative. That environmental stimuli, whatever, yeah, that actually will influence our overall cell structure because, again, that's part of our overall environment. What do you think about
Oh,
that?
absolutely. Because there are a lot of people who have the news just playing in the background. They will have it on all day long. They have news alerts. Now we have news alerts on our phones, on our watches. So it's constant with that negative. So there's a lot of people then that they would become very worried. And it's just from watching the news. And also it depends on the people that we surround ourselves with.
That's a great point. So, the people that we surround ourselves with, are we with people that are supportive and loving and caring? Or are we with people that put us down, that criticize us? Do you know that influence, that negative influence, based on Dr. Lipton's study, would tell us that that's influencing our cells in our body, which influence our overall health? So by changing our mindset and the people that we surround ourselves with, we can influence our health.
Oh, absolutely. It's, the people we surround ourselves with, it's a major dictator. Our work environment, if our work
That's a
environment
great
is
point.
toxic,
Yeah.
it's going to affect our health. You see some people who are so stressed out, or they're not, they have, a lot of different diseases and things going on. And then you wonder, you talk to them, well, how's work? And it's a
So
toxic
stressful.
environment.
Yeah. It's a great point. Stress is a huge indicator of what's going to happen with our cells in our body, right? If we're in that negative, stressful state, what's going to happen is the cells will break down. So again, the beauty in all of this is we have the power to influence our cells and influence our health all by changing our environment.
Yep.
So the question to you all is, what can you do to change your environment? Like, what's one thing that you can do to better, is it not watching the news? Is it not surrounding yourself with that one person who's always putting you down? Is it, there's so many different influences. So if you can just change one of those pieces, not only will you feel better in general, but you're actually influencing your health by changing the cell structure. Because remember, if the cells need a specific environment to thrive and grow, if we're not putting it in that environment by hanging around toxic people, by watching the news, by this, by that, guess what's happening to our cells? Guess what's happening to our health? It's being damaged. Any final thoughts?
No, absolutely. And it's just, the science is incredible because what it's teaching us, we can heal ourselves with the mindset and our environment. We can. It's not a pill. We can easily fix it ourselves.
And it's interesting that you say that. So this Dr. Lipton, who's a scientist, now he may be taking it to an extreme. He does not take any medication. His belief is, based on his findings, his scientific findings, or that for him, in order to change his health, he's got to change his environment. So he really focuses in on all the things that he can surround himself. Is he laughing? He spends time laughing for 15 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, because in the laughter, that's healing to the body and to the cells. So it's little things like this that we can do to help our overall health, our overall mindset, our overall well-being.
I think we should actually put a link to Dr. Lipton, and if people are interested, just to see, what he's about. He has so many videos on YouTube.
We'll post a link below. Comment below, what's one outside environmental thing or inside environmental thing that you can change or just tweak to make your life a little bit better, to help your cells thrive, to help your overall health, to help your overall mindset.
I think it's a great idea.
That's it. It's Monday. We love you. We appreciate you. Comment below. We're glad you're here, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Have a great one.
See ya.